And good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5 Minute Morning Miner. And it's Happy Mondays. Forgotten which group sang that song, but somebody did. Anyway, Monday the 20th of September. We're cracking through September and the deals are coming out thick and thin. Thick and fast, rather. Sorry. God, get my words right. Anyway, morning, Paul. How are you?
And good morning. Yes, yes. Lots of news out in the press here on mining too.
Oh, well, we better crack on then. We'll do it quick fast, shall we? Off you go, Paul. Get going.
Okay, will do. We've got first of all a trading halt has been put in effect under for ASX lithium brine developer Lake Resources. Yeah, as many people know that VSA has been supportive of Lake for quite some time now, and they've got trading halt in effect at the moment. Pending some kind of announcement on a deal around their tech partner, Lilac Solutions. So they expect to begin trading again by Wednesday, or so we'll see what happens in that regard.
Now, it's been a terrific performer of late, so it's done very, very well. And I would love it if they give me a call, please, because actually our Shanghai office wants to have a little chat with them and has got Chinese interest here, I think. So let's see what happens anyway. Okay, let's crack on. Next one.
Yep, next one, the West Kenya project of AIM quoted Shanta Gold as a new compliant resource estimate out. This based on just the phase one drilling results to date on that, where they've converted ounces that were in the inferred category into indicated category, which just on this component comes out to 117,000 ounces, grading over 7 grams. Now, the drilling program really continues on through here. Phase one so far at 9,300 meters drilled to the end of June, but they're also infilling on just shy of 1 million ounces of inferred resources between now and the end of the year, so that they'll put out yet another resource estimate probably near the end of first quarter of next year.
It's all going Kenya because our client Caracol is also out there, of course, mining gold.
Yes, and this project really you can see that grade there, way up there in multi-gram per ton. So definitely one interesting one to follow.
Yeah. Actually, I'll tell you one. Kazera Global, they put out some sort of joint venture MV5 on their diamond processing plant. I didn't quite fully understand it, but that looked like good news, didn't it, Paul?
Well, what it does is gives them greater control over a processing plant there for treating beach gravels there at Alexander Bay. And now that they've essentially made a deal with the local community, they can essentially control the pace that gets developed. And the idea is they'd like to increase the throughput of the plant to about 35,000 tons of gravel a month. So if they can demonstrate that they can run the plant better than the past operating procedure over the last several months, they should have a nice rise in productivity here and hopefully more rough diamonds to sell at auction. So we'll see how they do here.
That would help Tectonic Gold because Tectonic have 10% of Kazera, and it gives them a little bit of cash flow in for whilst they're looking for copper and gold in Western Australia. Okay, what else we got, Paul?
Yeah, Sarabi Gold, which is the AIM-quoted Brazil gold miner, they've announced that they have begun the mining site development on their next gold mine, which would be the wholly owned Coringa deposit, which is about 200 kilometers south of their current operating Palito mine. Now, they're going to proceed with development here off of just PEA level studies, but it does appear to have a low initial capex cost that they ought to be able to finance both largely from internal cash flows and some minor amounts of equity raises, I think, or debt finance or royalties or something like that. Capex cost just 25 million anticipated, and it would push their gold production up once developed to 38,000 ounces just from that Coringa operation over the first 5 years of a 9-year mine life. It too has one of these multi-gram per ton deposits grading over 8 grams here. So that's kind of why they think they can proceed here with less definitive studies on the deposit, and they anticipate $852 for all-in sustaining costs on it. They think they'll be able to also use ore sorting in order to keep the capex of the plant and size of the operation smaller than what would otherwise be necessary.
So the ore sorting technology is really moving on fast, isn't it? It's helping a lot of mines a lot, isn't it?
It is, and particularly where there's a significant contrast either in the weight of the ore versus waste, or the color, or the density. So all of those things allow through ore sorting to remove waste early in the crushing stream, so that the rest of the circuit doesn't need to be nearly so big or so complex.
I mean, it's like red herring here, but have you looked at Chrysos, the sort of I forgot what is it, some sort of ore sorting system, which is very clever, that actually was developed with Rob Adamson, the CEO of RFC Ambrian, and he's just floated that, I think, for $250 million or something, using Goldman Sachs or something amazing. I don't know if you looked at that, Paul.
I haven't, I'm afraid. I'd like to have a look at it.
I'll send you some stuff. Actually, he's been very, very smart. Anyway, quickly, so we had now let's have a look. Metals exploration had some interims today, didn't they? They looked okay.
Well, yes, there is when you compare it on year basis, metals exploration's interims that they released today on their Philippines gold operation. Yes, looking better here at this point. Grades are the processing plant is running more efficiently and getting more gold out of the ore. They produced about 5,000 ounces more than this time last year, up to 36,000 ounces or so. With those kind of improvements, you would hope that these things are going to be sustainable, and they can even make some better ones here at this point. It's the debt level that's been the real problem here over the last several years in metals exploration, but they're carrying about 111 million in debt, but it is a good size deposit. So there is opportunity here if management has clearly been able to finally get the roughest part of the processing story behind them here.
We've also had a placing today at the Haydale Graphene, 4.5 million being raised in an institutional placement as a retail offering as well. 22% discount at 6p. And actually, Paul, I noticed you mentioned to me before we started that there's a load of mining projects in Mexico that aren't going ahead because of permitting problems. But I mean, add it all up together, it's a huge number, isn't it?
Well, it seems like a huge number, being 18 in Mexico, being such a prolific place for minerals and metals. It is a little bit as a surprise here, I think, to me, or it may surprise some investors that there are that many in this point. There is part of the problem is there's a conflicting messaging on just how important mining is or should be in Mexico between the political leaders and their ministries, where some would rather see less mining and particularly less open pit mining than otherwise what the president is otherwise telling the public and the media. So we'll see how this plays out here. But anything delayed just makes the climate issues over the next couple of decades that much more difficult to address.
I mean, it's nearly $3 billion worth of investment getting stalled up, which seems crazy to me, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, anything else you want to quickly mention?
Eurasia Mining essentially has raised 11 million pounds sterling. This on the back of a deal they were making that they announced back in March with Rosgeo to develop various property interests in Russia.
Okay, well, that's quite a lot this morning. What a way to kick off the week. Very good, Paul. We'll speak again tomorrow.
Very good. See you then.